On guys, welcome back to part number 3 of the universal tree farm tutorial. What we're going to be doing mainly is give some more information well, at the end of the tutorial I'm going to give a whole bunch of information concluding the farm, so definitely stay till the end of the video and to see all of that. But the main thing we're going to be building is our 2 storage units, or bone meal supplier, and our 2 redstone lamps that will indicate which what we're short on, whether we have whether we are short on bone meal or whether we are short on sugar boxes. Um, so with that being said, I will be doing today's tutorial a bit different, and with that I mean I will pre build like off camera, or like copy one of the original designs in here, like a one wide slice, because all of the storage units are one wide tileable. So I'm just gonna put one wide slice in here and then just copy the tutorial and just build right next to it, so I can easily explain it and copy it, because otherwise I'd constantly have to fly back and cut this video in like a billion different cuts, because I do not know how to build some of these systems just out of my head. So with that being said, let's go and put in our ice streams right over here. So we're gonna have blocks right till this point over here. Now we're gonna have ice all the way over here till we have one block space. We're gonna extend all of this out till we reach our first ice block from this wither cage. Then we're gonna loop this around like this. We're gonna come out by 2 blocks like this, and then we're gonna hook that up to this block right over there. Just like that. Right over here we're gonna have a double chest. And right now I'm going to copy the original design in here so I can just build right next to it. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Just copy a one wide tileable version in here. So what's important is that we're gonna start right here, right next to this glass row right here. So this is going to be our first module, and we're going to be adding 10 modules. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I will only be building up a 2 wide version now for myself. You will have to build the 10 wide version, and then I will just copy it off camera, and then we can continue to work on this. So with that being said, let's start working on it. So from our first block right here, we're gonna have sticky pistons facing downwards like that, with compost bins in front of them. We're gonna have some solid blocks right here. Right below these solid blocks, we're gonna have normal pistons with redstone torches on top of them, just like that. Now we're gonna have solid blocks with sticky pistons with observers in front of it facing downwards. Right below these observers, we're gonna have some barrels. I'm gonna have some scaffolding. Place these barrels down like that. We're gonna leave a gap and then place observers out. And the reason I place my observers first is just because I don't want to crouch to place my droppers like that. We're gonna have solid blocks in front of those observers, redstone torches, another row of blocks, another set of torches, 3 tick delayed repeaters, a observer, and some solid blocks in front of it. Now I'm gonna remove that, and also that, just for the showcase, to make it just to build it makes it a little bit easier for me. Um, so we're gonna have 2 hoppers like this. We're gonna have observers in this general direction. Now this is one of these things that is not designed by me, and I do not see a use for these observers here, to be honest, but they are here in the original design, so I will just use them as, you know, as they are, as they should be used, I guess. So we're gonna have scaffolding right up here. We're gonna have our hoppers facing into this and into the side. Can remove those now. We'll have ourselves our dispensers. on top we're gonna take an output going into this ice lane right here. Now we're gonna have some extra sticky pistons. Now these might be a little tricky to place. You might wanna remove these hoppers again and then place them down and then place our hoppers back just like that. Now we're gonna add some temporarily scaffolding right over here. Put our hoppers on top of it, and also add some hoppers here on this side, and we can remove those blocks again. Now out here we're gonna have a hopper facing in the back of the dispenser, then 2 barrels, then another set of hoppers with glass panes on top of them. We're gonna take an output with a comparator out of these barrels just like that, with sticky pistons with just solid blocks in front of them, and then a torch on top of those sticky pistons. I'm gonna have another row of blocks with some more torches. We're gonna add some more sticky pistons right next to those. We're gonna add redstone blocks in front of those sticky pistons. We're gonna have torches on the side, some solid blocks, and redstone dust on top of it. That is the right side. Now we're almost finished. We just gotta complete this part. We're gonna have solid blocks right over here with our comparators on top of it. We're gonna have a row of glass blocks right here. We're gonna put redstone dust on all of these. These sticky pistons might be a little tricky to place. I'm gonna have some scaffolding. Try to place them like that. There we go. I'm gonna put some glass right there. Put comparators like that. Put some comparators like this. Put 2 solid blocks, 2 glass blocks. Put redstone dust on all of these blocks, and just fill this in with glass. Also up here we can put glass, and we can fill in this with glass. So that should be everything for this section. Now all you gotta do is extend it till we have reached this very point here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now, and I'll be right back with you guys. If you finish all of that up, you should end up with something looking like this. Now what I would recommend, because this will be really important later on, is that you can not really have items and boxes mixed up. So what I would recommend is check all of your droppers, all of these bottom droppers, and all of these hoppers right here, to see if while building in survival, at least if you're doing this in survival, while building it, that you did not drop any items in your hoppers, because that could potentially have some problems for the design. So make sure you get everything emptied out. So now we're gonna go grab some glass and some slabs and some water, and we're gonna go ahead and continue. So first of all, we're gonna make a ring around all of our ice. Leave that corner block because we will need this for the other ice road. Right here we're gonna add another glass panel. We're gonna go all the way around like this. Just like that. And also add another glass pane right over here. Now we're gonna add a water bucket right over there. Now we can close this one up. Put a slab right here. Another bucket and a slab. A slab right over there. A water bucket. A slab. A bucket. A slab right there. Just like that. And this will now infinitely loop around. So when items land in here for some reason that are not being sorted, they will just loop until they despawn. and that is this section done. Now let's go ahead and do this one. So we're gonna extend this out by 2 and add some ice up here as well. Gonna grab some double chests, some chests I mean, and actually add 3 chests going up like that. Gonna also encase this with glass. That was not my plan. I'm gonna put a glass pane right over here and just encircle this with glass, as well as this one up here. Gonna go ahead and grab ourselves a dropper and place one right over here. Then we'll add a water bucket right here, and we need some buttons. We also, I forgot, need to block this one off. Gonna add a button right over here, and then another water bucket and a slab like this. Then we're gonna go out to right over here, some glass, put another water bucket, and this is where we will have our last slab. No, this is where we will have our last slab. And the water elevator that will take him back up will be attached to the one coming from somewhere over there, so we will do that later on. Now we can already add the storage up here. Now this is purely optional. I mean, how large you build this is like literally completely up to you guys. I'm gonna be building it pretty high up because, you know, I want to store a lot of empty boxes so I can use the farm for quite some time before having to refill it. But this is completely up to you. This is the place where you'll have your empty shulker boxes stored. And then the lost hopper, you make sure it is on this side of the farm, just like that. There we go. Now we will go ahead and start building up the parts right over here. So first of all, we're going to be grabbing ourselves some building blocks, and making this little loop around the actual structure, just like that. Then we're gonna add another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks, just like this. And we're going to need some extra blocks here. First of all, that, some quartz stairs, some redstone lamps, and some red concrete. Now obviously this is the way I'm building it. You can totally change this up as I mentioned before. So we're gonna have our stairs like this. Then we'll have a row of black stone. We'll have 2 redstone lamps, 2 red blocks, and fill it in like this. Now these blocks are the indicator blocks of like what's going wrong or why your farm isn't running, with the safety switches and all of that. So that's why I use a red concrete there, because it's kind of like simulates the code of an error, I guess. So we're gonna fill this in for now. We can leave the floor open because we're gonna have to change that anyway. I will be copying the bone meal system in right now, and I'll see you guys to copy it in just a second. Alright, my recording just corrupted or did not record or whatever for when I was building this part, which is super annoying. But first of all, you can copy this by just looking at it, the overall dimensions of the wall that I just filled in, as well as the floor. And then I'll just build it 1 wide right next to it, because I just broke a 1 wide section again to just record it again, I guess. But you will have to build it 3 wide starting from this block right here. So we're gonna add 3 blocks like this, And I'll just start building right here on this section, but you guys have to remember that you have to build it 3 wide. Right. So right below those blocks, we're gonna have a some normal pistons with an obsidian block in front of them, just like this. Gonna add 2 torches like that, 2 solid blocks, and some repeaters just like that. Um, Now I will place the hoppers first. That will make it a little bit easier for later on. So I'm gonna add some scaffolding so I can stand a little easier. We're gonna add 2 hoppers right here, a barrel right there. We can now remove all of the scaffolding blocks that we just placed, just like that. Gonna have an extra hopper right on top of it. Now right here we got a hopper line that is going out to the side. So all of these hoppers are facing into one another towards this direction. And then we got hoppers facing into those hoppers just like that. Now behind this we got sticky pistons with redstone blocks on them. And then in here we got solid blocks with 3 tick delayed repeaters. Now at the bottom we're gonna have ourselves some comparators. These might be a little hard to place in the middle, so you might wanna like break this block to place this comparator and then place it back. It doesn't really matter too much, so just make sure all the comparators are in place. I'm gonna have a comparator right here with a block, a torch, and another block. First we're gonna place our sticky piston, well, sticky pistons. With a solid block in front of them. We're gonna have a solid block right over there and another 3 tick delay repeater just like that. Then we're gonna add our dispensers, and these once again may have been easier if I build this. We're gonna add ourselves some hoppers to the back, and we're gonna add a double trapped chest on top of it. Now the reason we use a trap chest here is because if you would put a shulker box in here or an item in here that you well didn't meant to put in there, it doesn't get sucked in straight away unless you close your box, your chest. So you still have a shot of taking the item out. So we put some blocks below, some stairs, upside down stairs on top, sea lanterns above the chest, observers facing downwards with 3 tick delay repeaters on top of them, a block right in front, right below I mean, just like this, and a redstone torch up there, just like that. Now all we need to do is connect these hoppers to these ones, and I'm just gonna add myself some blocks here to stand on. We're gonna start right over here. We're gonna extend this till we reach that, and we're just gonna make that little corner. We're gonna do the same thing here, make that corner right over there, and right here we're gonna make that corner right over here, just like that. Now I'll quickly check below to make sure all your hoppers are indeed facing in the correct direction. That way, you know, none of the lines are actually colliding. Right here I did make a mistake. As you can see, this one is pointing into that one, but it should definitely not do that. So we will replace that just like that. Now it's in the proper position. And now all what's left to do is add some redstone dust to this bottom system right here. So we're just gonna add redstone dust right like that. Now to finish things off on this side, we're gonna grab some more barrels and some item frames as well. Also did that on off camera. I added some item frames already. We're gonna add 5 barrels right on top of each other, just like this. Gonna put item frames on top of them, item frames up there as well, and item frames on these lamps and on these red blocks, just like that. Now these barrels will be served as just places where you have your saplings in, so you can get your saplings from in here. You store your saplings for each tree type. With that being said, let's copy the larger part of the storage system in here right now, and I'll be right back with you guys. Right, I did forget one thing, and that is this redstone line right over here. Now this hopper line right over there. I'm gonna grab a normal chest. Now I have not included anything to where this line goes. Um, and that is because I didn't really find a fitting space within like my entrance to actually fit that. Now what this box will contain is all the boxes that contained bone meal that emptied out, so all your empty boxes would end up in here. So what I would do if I were you guys is I would send this back to wherever you fill them with bone meal. But if you find a spot somewhere here where you can send them back to and store them, that is that obviously works as well. So that is something that is totally up to you guys. Right, now I'll copy the larger part in and I'll be right back with you guys. Right, quickly checking. Right, my mic is not muted. Alright, so what we're gonna be doing next is, as I said, we're gonna be building up this system. Now, I'm not gonna talk too much during the build up. I'm just gonna say what direction certain uh, observers will have to be, because I have explained this thing multiple times and it is uh, getting really exhausted explaining this. So I hope you guys do not mind. But the most important thing is we're gonna be starting from this row right here. We're gonna have 5 blocks. We're gonna start from right below that one with a sticky piston, with 5 sticky pistons. So I will only be building a 2 wide section right now. You'll have to build it 5 wide again, and then once it's done, I'll be right back with you guys. There we go, that is the bottom section pretty much done. We had some solid blocks, some torches, and or dispensers. Now I'll just build the full wide width version, like the 5 wide version. Um, alright, let's continue with some hoppers here in the back. 3 normal double chests on top of each other. Just some scaffolding blocks and hoppers pointing into the back of all of these, just like that. Then observers from the bottom hopper right here downwards, going into a block with a normal piston right next to it. Now up here we have hopper, barrel, hopper, barrel, hopper, hopper. So now we're just gonna complete this all the way. So barrels, hoppers, barrels, hoppers, hoppers, just like that. Right here on the back side, behind our first row of barrels, we're gonna put normal pistons. Make sure they're normal pistons. And we're gonna add 4 redstone blocks below each one of them. Just like that. Then we're going to add downwards facing observers right over here. Now here I use jack-o'-lanterns, and that is because this is one of these things that's also not mine. Now this part is mine, but this section is not. So the original design had jack-o'-lanterns, and I do not see like a specific reason for it to be jack-o'-lanterns, but I'll still use jack-o'-lanterns. Right? then blocks with torches. Gonna place these comparators first, and this might be a little bit tricky. We place our observers just like that, and then we fill this space with solid blocks. Then here we're gonna grab some slabs, also from our first barrel. We're gonna take a comparator output. We're gonna have some upside down slabs, upside down stairs I mean. That way we can still put an item frame in front. Once again, I'm using jack-o'-lanterns here as it was the original design, and redstone lamps in front of it like that. Right. Then up here we're gonna add a row of solid blocks above those barrels with a dispenser facing these hoppers. We're gonna add a normal piston right above it, just like this. I'll place some temporarily blocks down for now, and add some hoppers just like that. Now if you're breaking these, you will notice that the system, if you're in survival at least, you will notice that the system will trigger a couple of times. Before you start using everything, that you probably be better off just checking some of your bottom chests here, and as well, like I said in my storage system over there, that you have to check the hoppers, that way there's no random items in there. That being said though, we're gonna add two solid blocks right on top of it, just like this, with two droppers facing downwards. And I'm gonna start with this one. Okay, I actually should have started with the ones on top. Just like that. Right next to the top one, we're gonna have observers facing downwards, and sticky pistons right below it with redstone blocks on their faces. We're gonna have another row of observers up here, and another row of hoppers. Then on these solid blocks we're gonna put our comparators, and we're gonna add another layer of hoppers, but these will be facing the comparators just like this. Right now let's go ahead and build our item filter over on this side, and first of all we will add hoppers to the back of these dispensers just like that, and put solid blocks right over here. Here these droppers will start from right over there, and will go into a line in this direction. Alright, these might be a little hard to place. We need observers. Okay, they're still pretty alright to place. Just like that. With a 1 tick delay repeaters on top of them, these will be our item filters. We'll have a row of blocks right behind the repeaters with redstone torches on top of it, just like this. And now it's just the basic item filter, so we got a row of glass, a row of normal blocks, and we're gonna put redstone dust on all of these. Don't worry when this is already powered, is because I already have items in my filter over here. Right now here below these solid blocks we're gonna have normal pistons facing downwards, just like that, with solid blocks in front of them. We're gonna add observers facing these solid blocks and facing away, so we're gonna have a row in this direction. We're gonna have them into the facing into the blocks as well, just like that. We're almost there, guys. Now we're gonna add a row of redstone lamps and some upwards facing pistons. We're gonna add a row right up here of solid blocks and some comparators just like that. Then one of the last steps, we're gonna have our observers facing downwards like that with solid blocks in front. We're gonna have 2 tick delayed repeaters on top of those. We're gonna have ourselves cauldrons right over here, And obviously we're gonna fill them with water, so I'm quickly gonna go grab myself a water bucket. There we go. Should all be filled up now, and that is this system almost completed. Now up here we need another dropper line, again a dropper line in this general direction. We're gonna add, once again like we did down low, observers in this direction and a line of observers back here, and then we're gonna add some solid blocks right in front of them. And that is this top section done. Now all we need to do is here at the bottom we're gonna place ourselves some comparators, also some buttons right here. And now we're gonna go ahead and get our hopper minecarts in place. So I'm gonna go grab some rails. Actually, I do have everything I need for this step back here, so I'm gonna just big block this, some rails, hopper minecart, and some building blocks. Right. So we're gonna start off by doing this one. Put a block, a rail, and a honey block. Gonna put the minecart on top of it. We're gonna push it towards the honey block. Gonna break the honey block, break the rails, and as you can see, it is slightly over the comparator, which is exactly what we want. So now we're just gonna copy this 4 more times. Just like that. Now it is really important that you do not like touch these minecarts anymore, because if you push one off, then they're all gonna be like not in their correct location, and that could potentially give problems. But as soon as you start having shulker boxes spawned over here, then they're never gonna go anywhere anymore. So just like that. One more. There we go. And actually, as you can see, this one is not correct. You can clearly tell that it is backwards. And now, well, that was a bad test. I need carpet. The way we can see that that one is misplaced is because if we press this one, you can see that the carpet actually stops the minecart hopper from being pushed up. But I'm pretty sure right here, it is still being held down, so it might be okay. We might be okay over here, but I will just replace them anyway, just to make sure. As you can see right now, it is actually in perfect sync with the others. Here we go. Now we can add these back and make sure you add a block right next to there, and then we can just close this one off just like that. Now, as I mentioned, you don't really want to be running over these because, you know, if they move, you're gonna have to just redo them. And for that reason, I would recommend that you already put some empty boxes in place now. So just grab yourself some empty boxes. And put one in each one of these chests. Just like that. And now press the button on each one of these, but press it twice. The reason we press one box in this hopper, but you know, right now we only had one box, so first it went into the hopper, then the hopper locked it, then it went into the dispenser and we dispensed it, if that makes sense. Um, but as soon as we have like multiple boxes stacked up in these chests, that's no longer going to be an issue. So as soon as these break, then you know, it's instantly going to be a new one and you don't even need the buttons anymore. Um, so what I would say is that if you like right now, if you would start using the farm and you start getting boxes in here, and you want to get rid of this box because you know it's empty and you want to finally start using your display system as it's used to, what you're gonna have to do is put some items in here and pull it back out, and then it will break the box. What I have to say as well is that once you're done building this part of the system, go ahead and check these. Right, my clip just bugged out for like 3 times. But what I was saying is that there's obviously going to be some items left in here because you were obviously, you know, breaking the rails, breaking the blocks above it. So obviously it picked up some of the items. Um, so be sure to check all of these droppers to make sure they're all empty before we start using the system. Now we can start, we can add our roof on top of it right here, just like that. And that is the entrance pretty much complete. We still have to fill our item filters and all of that, which I will explain later because there's something specific about this item filter that has to be like, well, as I said, specific. So I'll quickly grab all the materials I need for this brain section up here that will control this machine, and then I'll be right back with you guys again. Add a um, let me quickly, a glass block right there, a solid block here, a solid block right there, and another solid block here and right there. We're gonna put rails on all of these, and we will still need rails, but for now I'll just leave it out of my inventory. We're gonna add some, these are just scaffolding blocks. We're having 2 extra hoppers right over here, and we're also gonna have 2 extra hoppers right over here. Make sure they're not connected to the hoppers below, but to the actual droppers. Then we're gonna have 2 droppers. We're gonna have one right over here and one right over here. We're also gonna be needing some quartz stairs. Well, actually any stairs. So we'll place one right over here. Place some scaffolding, and we'll have one right about there, just like this. Now we also need some hoppers, which I do have in my inventory. So right here we're gonna have a normal piston with a block below it, a block behind it with a comparator on top of it, and then a block up, sticky piston, and a observer facing downwards, just like that. Now right here we're gonna do something identical but just one block up. So we're gonna have a comparator, block up, piston, and a observer facing downwards like that. We're gonna have a block right behind that one, and we're gonna have ourselves a dispenser right here. Now we're gonna add 4 hoppers to the top, so 1, 2, 3, and 4, just like that. Now right here we're gonna add a solid block right over here, which will have a comparator on it. We'll have a block right there and right there, and a block right over there. 2 redstone dust on those blocks, and then I need a redstone torch right over there, just like that. Pretty simple. All what's left is now the back side of this system, and we're gonna go grab ourselves some observers again. We're gonna start one right here next to this one. We're gonna place one inward, another one right below it. This one will take an output from a rail that goes right over here on these blocks, just like this, with a block below two blocks like that. We need two repeaters set to 4 tick delay. And then we need 4 blocks in front of these, so 1, 2, 3, and 4, just like that. Now we need a random dropper that doesn't really need a specific direction, because it's just as a power source, and then a observer below it and a solid block like that, and that should be this system done. Now what we have to do now is just encase it with a little bit of glass, so make sure that nothing drops out in a wrong direction. So we're gonna have to glass tube this. And also one on top. And back here I will put a glass block right there, just in case it would somehow glitch through, which, the chances are pretty much 0, but you never know. And put 3 glass blocks just like that. Now we have completed pretty much all the important bits of the farm. Now what's left is some long redstone wires and some long water streams. So let's go ahead and start that right now.